Okay, so in this video I'm going to show you how to join the bag handle to the tops of your bag, and it's super easy. As you can see, I've done one here and next to our lining. So I'm just going to show you the other one, which is exactly the same. So take your bag handles, which you should find in your hamper as well. Hopefully you got two of them. And what we're going to do is we're going to rejoin. Pick one of the colours that you've used in your bag. So I've been using white. And we're going to find the tips of our two hexagons either side, these white ones here at the top. And we're going to find, first of all, we're going to find the top left two chain space up there. So if I can bring this a bit closer onto camera, we'll put the hoop down for now, and we're going to bring up the bag. So this is the top of one of our hexagons. We want the handle to go in the middle. So find the two chain space on the top left and just put your hook into there. We're using the same hook size for the rest of the bag. Put your hook into that two chain space and we're going to rejoin our yarn in there. So I'm just going to place that over my hook. I'm going to bring that through the two chain space, and I'm just going to do a little chain one to secure that into place. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to work double crochets. So the whole of this handle join is made with double crochets. So in UK terminology, that's a treble. So we're going to yarn over, and we're going to work one double crochet first of all in this two chain space in there. So do a double crochet in there. I'm going to do one double crochet in each stitch over to the other two chain space here. So you should have 10 stitches in total. So our first stitch is there. We're going to work into the stitch as normal, do a double crochet. That's our second one, and then in the next stitch, 3, and do one double crochet in each stitch across. 3, 4. And then your 10th stitch, we're going to work into this two chain space. You should have reached the next corner of your hexagon. Just put your hook into that two chain space and do a double crochet in there. So you've got a stitch count of 10 for that hexagon. Then we're going to find the hexagon in the middle, and we're going to work a double crochet into this two chain space, the right hand side one. So put your hook into there and do a double crochet. Then we're going to do one double crochet in each stitch across over to the other side. You should have a stitch count of 10 there as well. So that was 1, then 2, 3, 4, 5. This is why it's important to keep these stitches clear away from your lining. 9, and then the same as before, the 10th stitch is going to be in the other two chain space, the other side. Just put your hook into there, wrapping it around the chains, do a double crochet. So you've got a stitch count of 10 across the middle, and then we're on to the other hexagon, the other side, and we're going to find the two chain space, the next two chain space in there, do a double crochet in there, and we'll do one double crochet in each stitch across this edge up to the top. So that's 1, don't miss that first stitch there, 2, 3, 9, and same as before, your 10th stitch is to go in that two chain space at the top, 10. So you've got 10 stitches across there as well. So this is just in the middle top part of your bag, and you should have a total stitch count of 30 now. So you've got 10 down here, 10 across the middle, and 10 up to the top again. Okay, so we're leaving these spaces empty, so it's just these 3 sides in the middle, as if there was a hexagon in the middle. So you should have a stitch count of 30. what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little chain one, but don't count that as a stitch. I'm going to turn our work and working back along these stitches again, we're going to do 1 double crochet in each stitch across, keeping a stitch count of 30. So find that first stitch, and do a double crochet in there. Do 1 double crochet in each stitch across. You should have a stitch count of 30. So it's 2, 3, 29, and the last one 30. Okay, so I've done 1 double crochet in each stitch across to the other side, keeping a stitch count of 30. So those are trebles in UK terminology. I'm going to do exactly the same thing again. We're going to do a little chain 1. Again, don't count that as a stitch. Turn your work, and we're going to work 1 double crochet in each stitch across to the other side again, just one more time, keeping a stitch count of 30. So find that first stitch, do a double crochet in there, do 1, oh it's a bad double crochet, 1 double crochet in each stitch across to the other side, 2, 3, 29, and the last one 30. Okay, so reach the other side. So you should have 3 rows of just double crochets. What we're going to do now is we're going to cut a yarn, but we're going to leave enough for sewing. So we're just going to measure across once, across twice, about short length. Cut our yarn, and I'm going to pull that loop through, and then we're going to get a needle, so a yarn needle or a sewing needle. And I've lost my yarn needle right here. So I'm going to grab a needle and thread my tail end on. And what we're going to do is we're going to turn the bag around this way, so you've got the outside facing away from you. I'm going to take our hoop. The first thing we're going to do is just thread your needle through the hoop, like so. Okay, and we're going to find that 2 chain space that we first worked into. So count 1, 2, 3 rows down and find that 2 chain space of this hexagon. We're going to place our needle into there. Okay, just bring that in. Then we're going to find that first stitch again. I'm going to put our needle through that first stitch. Okay, that's our first join done. Then we're going to find the next double crochet along, and these double crochets are part of this hexagon. I'm just going to go round the back of that double crochet, that stitch there, and bring my needle through there. and then I'm going to work up through the stitch at the top. I'm basically going to do that all the way across. So I'm going to find the next stitch along and go round the back, and then I'm going to go up through the stitch at the top and do that all the way across. So the next one, up through the stitch at the top. Okay, giving it a little pull as you go along. My table's very creaky today. There we go, you can see that sitting nicely and evenly as well. As you can see, I still haven't hidden those tail ends. Keep forgetting. Okay, so when I get to here, I'm going to find, instead of working through the blue stitches, because I'm using white yarn, I'm going to work through the bottom row of our double crochets. 1, 2, 3. So instead of working into the stitches of the hexagon, I'm going to work around these bottom white stitches. So I'm going to go under, so I've just come around that one, so I need to find the next stitch at the top. Then I'm going to go around that one. Okay, so when I get to the last 10 stitches, it's not the camera, when I get to the last 10 stitches, I'm going to work them into the stitches in the hexagon, not these 3. So 1, 2, 3, this 4th row here, which is part of this hexagon, that's what I'm going to work around. So I'm going to come down, so if I've gone around that one, so I need to go back to the top. Then I'm going to come around this stitch here, and then work along this row instead. Probably doesn't matter too much, but this is just how I've done it. And finish that up to the end. Up to the end, I'm going to work around the end and then up for that last stitch. Okay, and then all that's left to do is to hide your tail ends. So I'm just going to sew back down to the bottom and then sew through some of the crochet in one direction. Sew back in the opposite direction. I'm going to do that again because this needs to be fairly firm if it's going to be well used. And then back the other way. Then trim down the excess. I'm just going to hide this tail end as well, and I'll come back and show you the finished bag. Okay, so finished sewing that handle on as well. This should be able to move around nicely. And there we have our finished handles, all nicely joined for our bag. And I've managed to make this bag. You should be able to make it with just using 2 balls of yarn. So this is how much white I have left of 1 ball, and the blue that I was using, have more of that left because I did less hexagons. So that's how much yarn I have left after 2 balls. So you can make this whole bag with just 2 of the balls, which leaves you enough to make at least another bag if you want to, or something else. But let's zoom out and have a look at the finished bag, shall we? So there we go, there is the finished bag, and all ready and waiting to put your projects inside. So let's put a little bit of weight inside. And there we go, there is our little bag, hexagon flower bag, ready for all your projects or whatever you want to put inside. So there we go. So I hope you've enjoyed that project, I hope you've managed to follow along, and I hope you've enjoyed the spring hamper. But I'll see you soon for some more crochet, hampery, crafting fun. Thanks for watching, guys.